Welcome to the 2019 Marysville Division II Girls Volleyball District Title. Tonight's match is going to be the Marysville Vikings hosting the Algonac Muskrats. I'm Nicole Will, and joining me tonight is
Grace Krasinski.
We're looking forward to a great game tonight. We'll be back right after this.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
Welcome back to Marysville High School for the District II Girls Volleyball Title. I'm Nicole Will, and joining me is...
I'm Grace Krasinski.
All right. We have a good game on our hands tonight. The Marysville Six out are Riley Francic, Jessica Miller, Lydia, and Alyssa Miller.
And on the Algonac side, we have number 13, Emily Cocken, number 16, Erica Goodman, number 7 and libero Miranda Goyen, number 14 setter Rachel Davis, and number 4 outside hitter Emily Nugget.
And first serve with Kirsten Smith, number 10. The ball is in and received by the Muskrats. Back row attack by number 7, and down. First point goes to the Algonac Muskrats. Grace, what do you think both teams are going to have to bring tonight to be successful?
I think that they're both going to have to be definitely really aggressive because, as we know, both of these teams are both very strong up front at the net. So I feel that as long as they hit aggressively and make smart plays, it should be a very good game.
Missed attempt by Riley Francic, another point Muskrat. With the ball is number 13, Emily Koznak. Serve is in and received by Alyssa Miller. Off the net, good recover by Jolene Gaffney. Push back row, set up by Jolene. Front row attack by Riley, point Vikings. I think we're going to need to see a lot more of that tonight if the Vikings are trying to pull out this win tonight.
Oh, for sure. I think we're definitely going to have to use our middles because they are very strong attackers and set our right sides and outsides very consistently as well.
Lydia Gold with the serve. Riley Francic with the touch on the net. Sent over by Emily Nugent. Viking point. Oh, looks like Muskrats got the point on that one. And coming in for number 7, Lydia Gold, is number 2, Ashley Roski. Little miscommunication there by the back row of the Vikings. Ball is up by Alyssa Miller and attacked by Jessica Miller. Down is a big hit by number 4, Riley Francic. Saw a little confusion there in the back of the court. Do you think that the Vikings are just having their pregame jitters, or?
Yeah, it happens sometimes with the Viking volleyball team where we see a little bit of miscommunication in the backcourt, but once they get in their rhythm and start their rotations like we see are happening, it gets a lot better, and you can see, especially libero Alyssa Miller coming out and showing us.
Nice tip over by number 13, Jolene Gaffney, and that will be point for the Vikings. Jessica Miller will go back to the line to serve. Back row attack by libero and into the net.
Sorry.
Another serve by Jessica Miller to the back row, and the ball is free balled over. Set up by Jolene Gaffney, and the attack by Alyssa Miller. This goes out barely. Substitutions on both sides. Mackenzie Fleming comes in for Jessica Miller. And Mara Simpson comes in for the Algonac Muskrats. See a lot of community support tonight in the stands.
Yes, I think it's especially awesome since it's finals, and it's good to see all the students come out and support their Viking team.
Point Vikings for a lift at the net by the Algonac Muskrats. Going back to serve is number 11, Alyssa Morgan. Number 14, Natalie Husson comes in for number 4, Riley Francig. Point Vikings, 2 touches called on the setter. The Vikings are getting on quite a roll right now.
Yeah, it's a great start for them. I think that was a great serve by Alyssa Miller. Way to be, I think they need to be definitely aggressive at the line tonight and show what they can do with their serving.
And they've been building up to this all season. I think that they've definitely putting their best foot forward tonight, and I think also the Algonac Muskrats are really showing what they can do, and I think it's going to be such a great matchup.
Yes, both sides are doing great right now.
Ball received by Ashley Roski and set up to Alyssa Miller. Big hit at the net as the Muskers get a touch, but it goes out of bounds. Coming in for number 2 is number 7, Lydia Gold. Back at the line is number 13, Jolene Gaffney with the serve. Ball received by number 13, Emily Cochin. Point for Algonac. Served by their libero, number 7, Miranda Gagne. Ball just flies off the Muskers' hands. Point Marysville Vikings. Another substitution comes on the court. Jessica Miller for number 8, Mackenzie Fleming. I think both of these teams are pretty evenly matched up. I mean, they have great hitters, and just defensively they're playing amazing, and there's only been a few balls actually touch the floor off of kills, and I think it's great play tonight.
Yeah, I think it's especially great for our own Marysville Viking team having Natalie Husson come off of an injury to be back for the finals. I think it's a great game for her.
Yeah, and she's being very strong coming off an injury. Some players don't play the best or just not in the groove, and she's playing great tonight.
Yes, I agree.
Number 2, Megan Mudrick comes in. Ball received by Jessica Miller and saved by Natalie Husson. And tipped over by the Muskrats. Jessica Miller with a deep kill in Muskrat territory. Coming back in for the Muskrats is number 10, Fiona Dunsbury. And for the Vikings libero rotation, Megan Winston comes in for the Vikings. Attack on the Muskrat side. Up by Alyssa Miller. Front row attack by Lydia Gold.
Who's checking into the game?
A point for the Marysville Vikings. Another serve for Megan Winston. Ball goes deep in the back center of the court. Back row attack by their libero into the net. Another point for the Marysville Vikings. Back at the line is number 3, Megan Winston. Front row attack by Lydia Gold hits the inside corner. Viking point. Timeout taken by the Muskrats.
When it comes to managing your pain, you have a choice. Don't mask your pain with opioids. Choose to treat it with the help of a physical therapist. Physical therapists treat pain through movement and exercise. No warning labels required, and you get to actively participate in your care. Choose to improve your health without the risks of opioids. Choose physical therapy.
Welcome back to the 2019 Division II title, located at Marysville High School. I think the first set's going great so far. Both teams are pretty close, and they're both playing very good. And
Yeah, I think it's especially great that our Viking defense has been phenomenal so far, especially with covering the tips, which I know earlier on in the season was not one of our strong suits. So I think it's great for the Lady Vikings to really show how far they've come in that area.
I think that this year, too, they've worked on and improved on a lot of things, and they've just overall become such a better team.
Yes, the team dynamic has definitely improved since the beginning of the season, and it was so strong. So I feel like now it's even better.
Megan Winston back at the line for a Viking serve streak. Just short of out, and the point to the Algonac Muskrats.
I think along with the aggressive serving that the Vikings are implementing right now, there is going to be some missed serves out of bounds, but I think that it's definitely good that they're keeping up with the aggressive serves and doing what they do best.
Tip by the Algonac Muskrats. Front row attack by Lydia Gold. And barely played over by the Algonac Muskrats, but it was good enough for a point. Number 13 goes back to the line to serve, Emily Cochin. Received by Jessica Miller. Attacked by Lydia Gold for a Viking point.
I think it's a great idea for Jolene to keep setting Lydia because she knows that she's right there behind her in case of, like we just saw, in case of a scramble, she has Lydia as her kind of relief hitter, and Lydia is such a strong hitter, so I think it's definitely a good idea that Jolene knows that she's there for her.
That consistency, too, is very nice, how Lydia is always and using a high percentage of balls to get into that corner.
Yes.
Pretty long rally between the Vikings and the Muskrats. Sent over by number 4, Emily Nugent. Front row attack by number 4, Riley Francic for a Viking point.
I think Riley is one of the players who have come along so far this season and so far in the Marysville program. If you look at her from freshman year to senior year now, her hitting is so much more consistent, and she is such a powerful hitter. And I think that it's definitely a great thing that we use her as much as we do.
She's definitely a powerhouse in the front row, and as people are watching, she's definitely someone to keep an eye on because she is so strong and she can slam it over just as quick, and she's definitely someone you should be looking at.
I agree.
Strong serve by Lydia Gold. Sent over as a back row attack. Just misread from the Vikings. Algonac point. Coming in for the Marysville Vikings is number 2 for number 7, Lydia Gold. Libero rotation on the Algonac side. Number 9 is serving for Algonac, Ellis Stevenson. Point, Marysville Vikings.
I think one of the biggest differences between the Marysville Vikings and the Algonac Muskrats is that both teams are definitely very aggressive and they both have their miscommunications, but I feel that we, as the Marysville Vikings, do have a little bit more communication on our side. But I think, like we said in the beginning of the game, they are two very closely matched teams, and it's been a great game so far.
And this is a game of mistakes. Whoever makes more is obviously not going to win. And I think that with that communication, it's just the Vikings are making less mistakes than the Muskrats, and that's why they're ahead right now. I think if the Muskrats did want to win, they need to talk a little bit more and just communicate better.
Yeah.
Coming in for Algonac is number 8, Mara Simpson, and coming in for the Vikings is number 8, Mackenzie Fleming. Tough serve, but reflected off of Fleming's arms. Point for the Algonac Muskrats.
There are some tricky servers out there for the Muskrats. They are consistently known to have very hard serves, and a lot of their servers don't go to just one place. They can mix their serves up, which makes it pretty hard to read.
Yeah, you can see this too also with some of our, last year Lydia Gold was a serve specialist, and we can see that often in the Vikings and how they play their game.
Yes.
Algonac serves are just very good tonight, and they're just really hitting the ball very nice.
Yes.
Tip over by Riley Franson, and back row attack, received by Ashley Roski. Point Algonac Muskrats. Ball up by Mackenzie Fleming. Oh, 2 touches was called on Alyssa Miller. It's really good of her to step in like that when that's an off play.
Yeah, and be able, even though she may not get the set that she wants, I think it's a good idea.
And we'll be right back after this.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
Welcome back to the Marysville Gymnasium for the Division II title.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. We have a pretty close game here, just a 5-point difference.
Yeah, I think so far we've had a really close game, and both teams are playing very well right now and making really smart plays.
Back row attack from the Librero. We've seen that quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, I especially like on the Algonac side, we see them use their back row a lot, and I think that's a very smart idea because the back row players most of the time can hit just as well as the front row. So I think it's definitely a great thing that Algonac uses their back row attackers.
Point game for the Algonac Muskrats. Serving now is number 4, Emily Nugent. She's on quite a streak tonight.
Yes, she is. She's a very phenomenal server along with the outside hitter. She's one of their strongest outside hitters that they have.
Strong inbound tip by Riley Francis. But the point is reversed by the up refs, 4 contacts by the Marysville Vikings.
I think definitely we can see this game getting a little intense. That happens a lot in volleyball. Like you said earlier, it's a game of mistakes, and sometimes we miss some of the mistakes that the refs do see. So I think we tend to get a little upset, but I feel they do a great job of trying to keep it calm down on the court.
And the game is so intense tonight because it is the district final game.
Yes, I agree.
Point called on the Marysville side for 2 touches, and coming in for number 4 is number 14, Natalie Husson. Back at the line is number 11, Alyssa Morgan. Back row attack presented by number 7, and a kill.
A little bit of a miscommunication there on our part. I think it's hard because we rotate to different spots on the court, but I think setter and captain Jolene Gaffney is telling them, like, hey guys, it's okay, let's get this back.
Served by number 14, Rachel Davis.
Something that our Marysville program definitely works on is covering the block, and a lot of the times we are very good at that, but sometimes we get a little caught up, and that's all right. But I think definitely one of the good things about our program is the block covering.
Another timeout is taken, and you'll be right back.
Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her walk miles a day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Welcome back to the Marysville Gymnasium. Close game between the Viking and the Algonac Muskrats. Serving at the line is number 14, Rachel Davis. Front row tip by number 14, Natalie Husson. Free ball over the net by the Algonac Muskrats. Just a slight roll into the net. Davis will head back to the line. Good up by number 8, Mackenzie Fleming.
This has certainly become a very intense game with both teams currently tied at 20-20. I think the Marysville Vikings just need to definitely work with their back row and cover those spots that they're leaving open.
Like we talked about earlier, this is a game of mistakes, but also it's a game of communication, and I feel like the Vikings just need to get the communication together, and that they're just having a little hard spot right here, but hopefully they can turn this game around.
Yes, I think with it being our serve now, it will definitely give us the little momentum that we need to get this game back in our hands.
Serve by number 13, Jolene Gaffney. Just a touch off the arms of number 11, Alyssa Morgan. Point, Algonac. Going back to the line to serve is libero number 7, Miranda Gagnon. Point, Muskrats. To make that just a 1-point lead.
Yeah. I think it's something we see a lot in volleyball, especially between two of good teams, is there's often just that 1-point difference, and it's something that can very easily be, turned, but I think right now it's something that
strong and needed point from the Marysville Vikings. Coming in for number 8, Mackenzie Fleming, is number 1, Jessica Miller. Back to the line to serve is number 5, Alyssa Miller. Ball is set back row by number 14. Front row attack by Lydia Gold. Set out to Jessica Miller and down with the tip.
I think something we've seen a lot of tonight from both the setters and the attackers is tipping and pushes, and I think that it's definitely an aggressive and smart move on both teams, because a lot of the times they see the spots that are open.
Back row push and blocked at the net by Lydia Gold. Timeout taken by the Algonac Muskrats. We'll be right back after this.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
Welcome back to the Division II Girls Volleyball District Title. Tonight's match is the Marysville Vikings versus the Algonac Muskrats. Ball is served by number 5, Alyssa Miller. Big block up at the net by Natalie Husson, but ball just is out by a slip.
I think it's definitely something that we do very well here at Marysville is we have a very strong block. And I think it's great to see Nat come back in off of her injury and just be up there at the net ready to go.
Number 2 comes in for the Muskrats, Megan Burdick. Big tip by the Vikings and a free ball sent over.
This is a great rally we got going here.
Both teams are playing very good defense against each other.
Yes.
Good set there by Jolene Gaffney, and a free ball sent over by the Muskrats. Big tip by number 7, Lydia Gold, to get the Viking point and a Viking win in the first set.
Hello, my name is Dr. John DeYoung, President of the American Veterinary Medical Association. You may think that the health and welfare of your pets is all the veterinarians do, but our job is so much more. We're involved at the intersection of human, animal, and environmental health, the concept known as One Health. Veterinarians keep your food supply safe, make sure that diseases are under control, and you can learn more about it at avma.org. We're all in this world together, animals and people alike, and we need to take care of one another.
Welcome back to the Division II Girls Volleyball District Title. This match, the Vikings won the first set, but it was pretty close, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a close set. We saw the Muskrats rally back in the very end, but I think the Vikings played smart, played aggressive, and they ended up taking the win.
Little misconfusion here on the Marysville side lineup, but Alyssa Morgan comes in for Riley Francic. Starting 6 on the Vikings side are number 14, Natalie Husson, number 7, Lydia Gold, number 13, Jolene Gaffney, number 1, Jessica Miller, number 11, Alyssa Morgan, and number 5, Alyssa Miller. On the Muskrat side, we have a few similarities. We have 13, Emily Cochin, number 7, Miranda Gale, and serving at the back line is number 2, Megan Mudrick.
Something that I definitely love to see out of Jolene is her aggression at the net. Not only will she push or tip, but she can hit the ball too, which I think is something that is so great about her, is that she's not afraid to use her other skills besides just setting.
Number 10, Dunsbury, comes in for the Muskrats, and the Obero switch for the Vikings. Ball tipped the net and just slides over for Megan Winston.
I think for her being a freshman and coming in and being able to serve consistently is such a great thing for her, and she's definitely one of our most consistent servers, and she's gotten so many aces and great serves on the season.
I think that these younger players do give the Vikings something to look forward to in the next few years, and it's just going to be a good benefit for the team.
Yes, certainly.
Megan Winston back at the line for the Vikings. Ball is served into the net and a Muskrat point. Coming in for the Vikings is number 14, Natalie Husson, to switch with number 11, Alyssa Morgan. Good front row attack by number 7, Lydia Gold.
Lydia has come so far with her hitting. She was originally an outside, and to transition to right side and be able to still hit like that is something that not many players can do.
And I think that's a smart move by the coaches in their offense, and just just saying like, hey, like you're going to start a new spot, and she's excelling with it very well, and it's really working for the Viking team.
Yes, for sure.
Good up by number 7, Lydia. And the ball is hit into the net by Jessica Miller. Coming in for the Vikings is number 2, Ashley Roski, and a libero switch on the Muskrat side. Good up by Morgan. A back row attack by the Muskrats. Just hit out of bounds. Both of these games we've seen just a consistency of it being close and just being a 1 point on each side kind of match. And
I think it's something that we definitely have seen in the past few days with the other games, and I think this game for sure is a great matchup between the two of them to just show what they have and what they got and how versatile both of their teams can be and how aggressive and competitive they are.
Serving to the net by the Muskrat team, and going back to the line is number 1, Jessica Miller. Point 1 by the Marysville Vikings. Big hit by number 4, Riley Francis.
I think she's a player that we've definitely seen all night who has had some big hits and has consistently put the ball down for our team in great spots.
She definitely has an eye for where she can hit it, and just a great overall mindset of the game, and she's just a fantastic player.
Yes.
Tip over by Jolene Gaffney. Misread from the Vikings for an Algonac point.
I think something that both of these setters have in common is their ability to be aggressive with their pushes and their tips, and I know we've certainly seen the Algonac setter be very aggressive with where she's putting her pushes in the deep corners.
Coming in for both teams is number 8, Mackenzie Fleming, and number 8, Myra Simpson. Big front row attack, Viking point. I think on both sides of the court tonight we've seen a great coaching staff and just a well planned out game, and just great overall support.
Yeah, I think definitely we see that these two coaches have known each other for a while, and you could see before the game they were talking, and I think that it's definitely something that is helping with the chemistry of the game.
Point for the Muskrats. Number 14 goes back to the line, Rachel Davis.
Great spot by Natalie Husson to replace that tip, because I think she has very good court awareness to see where she needs to place the ball.
Number 7 comes back for the Vikings. Number 7, Lydia Gold. The Muskrats actually had a huge win last night to get into this game in the finals, and they are really moving off of that momentum, and I think that strong move is really pushing them through this game tonight.
Yeah, I think it's something that you can definitely see. They were so strong against St. Clair yesterday night, and I think that it's great for them to use and carry that same momentum right into today's game against our Lady Vikings.
Ball hits the back line with a serve from the libero, number 7, Miranda Gagne.
A little bit of a miscue there on the Lady Vikings, but I think, like you said earlier, it's a game of mistakes and it's bound to happen, so they can pick it up and get it right back.
Like that communication by Mackenzie Fleming to send the ball over. That ball just didn't go where she wanted that to go, and that was in the net. Point for the Algonac Muskrats. Strong hit by number 7, Lydia Gold, and the ball is down for a point.
Something that's so great about our Marysville hitters is that they can hit wherever you tell them to. We have a couple rotations where if they normally hit outside, then they switch over to middle. So I think it's great that they can definitely hit wherever they're put.
I think it's great to see, too, both teams playing just a little bit different defense and how both styles are working very well for their team.
Yeah, I think it's definitely great for them to mix it up a little bit and use different techniques and styles of the game.
Big point by number 14, Natalie Husson. The point is being challenged by the Muskrats by number 7, their libero.
Point still stands with the Marysville Vikings, which I think is something that's good on the ref's call.
Going back to the line of serve is number 5, Alyssa Miller. Big tip over the net by number 14, Natalie Husson. I think one of the strong parts of Mrs. Husson's game is that she can get so high over the net, and I think having her out was a little disadvantage for the Vikings because she can get so far over and get those touches when other people usually can't defend that.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing for both of our middles, especially Natalie, to be able to jump and get over the net. And it was something that we saw Grace Schweihofer come in and try to play Natalie's spot, and she did a phenomenal job. So I think it's great that Grace got a chance to play and that Natalie's now back in.
Number 3 comes back in for the Muskrats, Bella Kololik. Little miscommunication there in the back row with Jessica Miller and Alyssa Morgan. Point for the Algonac Muskrats.
I think it's great that our setter, Jolene, she's always there ready at the net for the ball to come down. So I think that's a great thing by her because most of the time the ball is there and ready for her to be played by her. So I think that it's great that she's consistently there.
Good block by the Vikings. In the back row attack. Reflected off the arms of Alyssa Miller, and that'll be for a Muskrat point.
I think the back row attack is something that Algonac definitely does very well, and we can see them consistently setting up their back row. And something that their libero does very well is hit, and she's always aggressive with the ball. If it's in a scramble, I think that's something that's good about their libero.
I think, too, they are thriving off of that momentum from their back row, and her defense is really great tonight, so I think she's going to be quite phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a great save by number 5, Alyssa Miller, back there.
Ball sent over by Lydia Gold. Quite a good rally between the Vikings and the Muskrats. A big hit by number 7, Lydia Gold.
That was a very intense rally, and I think our girls played very aggressively, and so did Algonac, to try and match each other's intensity and energy. So it was a great game, or part of the game to see.
Number 10 comes back in for the Muskrats. And a libero switch for the Vikings side.
Phenomenal up by both of the back row players back there, laying out and trying to get to that.
I think it kind of took the Muskrats for a shock right there because they were already a little celebrating when the ball was played, and it Very good save by the Vikings, and it shows our dedication to never stop playing until the whistle is blown. So.
Yeah, something about volleyball is that you can never stop playing until the whistle is blown because you never know what may happen.
Coming back in for the Vikings is number 14, Natalie, to libero switch with number 11, Alyssa Morgan. Going back again to serve for the Algonac Muskrats is number 13, Emily Cochin. A timeout has been taken by the Lady Vikings, and we'll be right back after this short message.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Welcome back to the Viking Gymnasium as we come back to the Marysville Vikings versus the Algonac Muskrats.
It's been a great game so far with both teams just competing in rally after rally, and we just see point after point being traded back on both sides. So I think it's definitely been some great volleyball here tonight.
Also, we can see that competitiveness between this, and just seeing that both teams are doing that top level of competitiveness and just really playing each point right out to the end and having great camaraderie on the court, and it's just a great overall game.
It truly has been, and I think we will continue to see this throughout the night.
Ball hit into the net by the Muskrats. Lydia Gold goes back to the line to serve. Ball served into the net for a Muskrat point.
I think something that's so great about our Lady Vikings is that even though they may miss a serve or a hit, is they have the ability to just come right back off of it with a positive attitude and the ability to smile and say, I got the next one.
Yeah, I think that enthusiasm and energy is just one of the keys to the success of this team and just how they can get a point back just like that.
Exactly.
Long serve by the Muskrats and a point for the Marysville Vikings. A little bit of struggle there in the back row for the Muskrats. And the ball set up for Riley Frantic to smash it down.
She's had some big swings tonight, and I think that's something we need to continue to see out of her, out of honestly all of our front row players, because those big swings are what helps gets us points.
Ball deflected off the Muskrats for a Viking ace by number 1, Jessica Miller. Long serve there, the momentum was just a little too much on that ball. Both eights come back in for both teams.
A little bit of a miscommunication there by the ref and the player. It's all right.
We were talking about communication earlier tonight, and as you can see, before that point started, the libero and one of their back row players were talking and trying to communicate, and I think that they're really implying that aspect of the game, and that's what's helping them tonight. And we'll be right back with more Viking action after this short break.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. I didn't want to admit it, but I had PTSD.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding help. and learning that I wasn't alone.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Welcome back to the Marysville Gymnasium. Sorry about that break in the live action we had to take. One of the officials just got hurt, so we'll be back with the live action. Recap of game one. The Vikings came on top with a 25-23 victory. The game was very close, though, back and forth the whole game, and both defenses and offenses played great, and I think you would agree.
Yes, I definitely think that we saw both offense and defense it was very consistent and very strong on both sides. And I think we've definitely seen a lot of that here in game two, and I think throughout the night and throughout the next couple games we will continue to see even more of it.
Coming back for the Vikings is Mackenzie Fleming, Alyssa Morgan, Ashley Roski, Alyssa Miller, Jolene Gaffney, and Riley Franczyk.
We have a very hype hometown crowd here tonight. I think it's great to see everybody come out and support our Lady Vikings and their wins and see what happens here tonight.
I agree with that. I think that it's good community support, and throughout the whole program we've seen that every game, away game, just everything the Vikings have, a tournament, we just see that community support, and it's a great thing to see.
Yes, I agree. I think it's definitely something that helps the girls.
Number 4 with the serve, Emily Nugent. Mackenzie Fleming receives. And a front row attack by Riley Franczyk. Hits the top of the net from Alyssa Miller. And the Muskrats will go back to the line to serve.
Something really nice about Riley is that she has one of the best slides that the Marysville program has seen in a long time. And it's something that Coach Bush will constantly talk about is her phenomenal slide that we've seen come out only twice here tonight, but I think we may expect a little bit more of that later on.
Good up by number 2, Ashley Roski. Big front row attack by number 4, Riley Franczyk. I think one of the things we could talk about tonight, too, is the team's records. I think that both teams this year have done just a very nice job, and they've really excelled and just shown what they can do.
Yeah, I think every team that they've played have seen their aggression on the court and how competitive they are.
Nice front row tip from the setter on the Muskrat side.
Like we said earlier, it's something that both setters have that is really nice in their, artillery that they can use and to have in case of an emergency like that.
Yeah, and the Vikings, they really did see that coming. It was literally, it was just an odd thing to see, a setter setting it backwards, so
yeah,
really worked for their team.
A little bit of a sneak attack.
Yeah. Timeout will be taking on the Vikings side. We'll be back with more Viking action after this short break.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Welcome back to the Division II Girls Volleyball District Title between the Marysville Vikings and the Algonac Muskrats.
Had a great second game so far, and I think it'll continue to prove just how good each of these teams are.
Point called for the Vikings side. Coming in for the Vikings is number 7, Lydia Gold. And back at the line to serve, number 13, Jolene Gaffney. Two touches called on the libero, number 7, for a Viking point. Pretty close game we have here, 2020.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of games like this throughout the season, but this is definitely one of the most intense one because of what is at stake here.
Nice call by number 13 and number 11.
I think these games are going to really come down to who wants it more, who has it in their heart more to really push through and win this game through all the adversity and challenges that they face.
I think so too, and I think it's just gonna be whoever plays better and whoever wants, like you said, the game more and puts the whole heart into it and just plays a better game.
For sure.
Little misread for the Vikings for an Algonac point to make it 21-21.
Like we said earlier, this is just a point-after-point game with both teams just rallying back and forth.
Very intense, and as the crowds have shown, it's very high energy and good front row attack by number 14, Natalie Husson, for a Viking kill.
It's great to see the relationship between all the girls on this team and how they've all bonded and how the team has come so far this season.
Yeah, that camaraderie is just something that you won't see on other teams, and I think it comes to the Vikings' advantage that they have that and they have that great team bonding experience.
Yeah, it's something definitely proven here in the Marysville program.
Coming back in for the Vikings was number 1, Jessica Miller. Lift called on the Vikings side for an Algonac point. Coming in for the Algonac Muskrats is number 3, Bella Kowalik. Nice tip by number 14, Natalie Husson.
Yeah, something that our Marysville team has is they can read the court so well, and they know they have great court awareness and they know where they are on the court and where they need to put the ball in order to get the point.
That also too goes along with mental toughness and being able to read that ball. We'll be right back after this short message.
New message.
Your social security number has been suspended. If you do not contact us, your account will be deactivated.
Scammers are aggressive when they contact a potential victim. Social Security Administration employees will never threaten you for information or promise benefits in exchange for information. In those cases, the call is fraudulent and you should just hang up. Don't provide any personal or financial information to these thieves. Call the Social Security Fraud Hotline at 1-800-269-0271.
Welcome back to the Marysville Gymnasium for a very close match we have going on here. The Marysville Vikings have a score of 23 and Algonac 22. Back at the line to serve is number 3, Megan Winston. Good up on the Muskrat side for a back row attack, blocked by number 4, Riley Frantic.
Something that is really great about Riley is she has the ability, she can block just by herself. Something that's really common on the Marysville side is a triple block, but she can block by herself.
Timeout taken by the Muskrats. We'll be back right after this.
It's a miracle that springs forth to feed us, to clothe us, to bring us joy. A miracle prompted by rain and warmed by the sun. But few realize without healthy soil below ground, there would be little life above it. Learn more about this miracle under our feet and how we're working with farmers and ranchers to unlock the secrets in the soil.
Welcome back to the district girls volleyball game. Back at the line to serve is number 3, Megan Winston. Good outside attack by the Muskrats for a volleyball block to secure the set. Game 1 and 2 have gone to the Marysville Vikings. We'll be back with more Viking action after this short break.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems. And we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
Welcome back to the 2019 Marysville Division II Girls Volleyball District Title. A little overview of the last two sets. We had the Vikings take both sets, not by much, pretty close games.
Yeah, they've definitely been really close games, with the first one being 25-23 and the second one being 25-22.
I think the Vikings just really took the momentum in the second game and used it to their advantage and came out on top.
Yeah.
Back at the line to serve is number 3, Megan Winston. Just short of out. Coming in for her is number 14, Natalie Husson, with a libero switch with Alyssa Morgan.
Good talking by Jolene to call help when she knows that she doesn't have the ability to get there.
Point called from the Marysville side, 2 touches from the Algonac setter. Call is being challenged by the libero, number 7. Elfrep keeps the call, and number 7, Lydia Gold, will go to the back line. Nice short serve.
Something that's really great about Lydia is she's definitely a very good, she can mix her serves up, is something that's really good about her. She can serve short and she has the ability to serve deep, so she knows when she needs to mix it up a little bit.
Also very good side on the coach's part. They telling her where to serve and what spot that should go to, so. Call overturned by the up ref. Point for the Marysville Vikings. Little discussion on the court in between teams.
A little bit of a miscommunication there on that one. That's all right. Like we said earlier, they're trying to transition to different spots, so it's easy to get mixed up and caught in the chaos.
Coming in for number 7, Lydia Gold, is number 2, Ashley Roski. Short serve into the net by number 9 for the Muskrats. Viking point. Number 1, Jessica Miller, will go back to the line to serve. Good up by number 13 on the Muskrat side. Ball called out by the Vikings for Viking point.
I think something that's so great about our serving and about just our ladies overall is that they can handle being under pressure very well, and they adapt to it and play extremely well. Even though it may not be the situation they exactly want, they can adapt and play.
Big front row attack by number 4, Riley Francic, for a Viking point. Earlier we were talking about how the front row really has their mind in the game and knows where to place those balls. But also we've seen a lot tonight from Alyssa Morgan and how she can play that back line and notice where all these balls are in and out. And she definitely hasn't made a lot of wrong calls tonight, so that's good on her part.
That's something that she is definitely very good at, is knowing where she is on the court and where what she needs to call and if she knows it's in or out.
Good up by number 2, Ashley Roski. Free ball over from the Muskrats. For another big attack by number 4, Riley Francic.
Riley's somebody that we've been talking about all night consistently, and she has come out and shown definitely her true colors. She has taken some really big, strong swings tonight, and they're getting her points. So I think it's definitely something she needs to keep doing.
Another back row attack from the Muskrats. That's also something we've seen consistently tonight, is using all their players and just using them to their full ability.
Yeah, it's definitely something that Algonac handles very well, is using all of their players even if they're not in exactly the right spot.
Number 14 will go back to the line to serve. Rachel Davis. Good transition from a Muskrat right back. Hit over by number 14, Natalie Husson, for a Viking kill.
I think that's something that they work on quite a couple times in practice, is knowing what to do with the overpass. They can do quite a few things. They can play it off the net, they can hit it down, and I think that was smart of Natalie to use her strength to hit that ball right down.
Number 7, Lydia Gold, comes back in for the Marysville Vikings. Big block by the Marysville Vikings for a Viking point.
Something that they're really good at is getting to their spots on the block and getting over, and sometimes that can be tricky, is getting over to the right spot to block, but it's something that we handle very well on the Viking.
I think Coach Amanda Bush, too, focuses a lot on that and how we set up our defense for that ball, and that's why the Vikings are so strong this season on that.
Yeah.
A Muskrat point just reflected off the arms of Jolene Gaffney. Librero, number 7, Miranda Gagne, goes back to the line to serve. Big Viking attack from number 14, Natalie Husson.
Talking about blocks, something that we can do on the Viking side is use the block to our advantage and place the ball where it may not work out best for the blockers. So it's something that is definitely our advantage.
Nice tip from the Muskrat side. A little bit of miscommunication on the Viking side.
Good talk by Jolene to let everybody know that she needs help.
In being captain of the team, she really implements that communication, and it sets a good example for the Viking team.
Good joust on the net, good recovery from Alyssa Miller.
Just rolled off her fingers there of Lydia Gold, and that will be for a Muskrat point. Number 3 is going to re-enter the game, Bella Kololek. Ball is up and served short into Viking territory. Ball is received, but hit right into the net from number 7, Lydia Gold. Ball is received by Alyssa Morgan. An attack from Natalie Husson, just slide about.
Something that we've seen a lot tonight is just the back and forth of the game and how the momentum so quickly changes on each side and how just one play can change the whole game.
That's true, and I think that the more the teams go back and forth, the more that the intensity builds, and each team just takes that intensity and motivates them to do better.
Yes.
Coming in for the Vikings is number 3, Megan Winston. And for the Muskrats, number 10, Dunsbury. Nice receive from the libero, number 7, and a good Viking recover.
Something that the Vikings can do very well is place their free balls if in need of an emergency when they have to use that free ball. They're very good at placing it in spots that are a little harder to reach.
Big block by the Vikings. Set up by Alyssa Miller and attacked by Jessica Miller. Little roll off the block for a Viking point. I think tonight we've seen good execution by both teams and just how they set up their game, and both of the coaches' scouting reports really lining up to each team and just fitting them very snug.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that the coaches are viewing very well as they're seeing how they want the game to go and just using their lineups to their advantage and how they want to use their players.
Tip into the net by Riley Frantic for another Muskrat point. Big attack by number 7, Lydia Gold, for a Viking point. She will also go back to the line to serve for the Vikings.
Something that I know is a little tricky for some players is going straight from hitting to serving because it's a natural thing for you to want to snap down on the ball for hitting. And going back to serving is a little bit trickier because you can't necessarily snap your hand without it going into the net. So it's definitely something that is tricky, and I think they execute very well.
I think a good thing we've seen tonight, too, is our players very well adapting to that change and just being the best player they can be tonight.
Yeah.
A libero change for the Muskrats and a substitution. Number 2, Ashley Roski, comes in for number 7, Lydia Gold.
Something that we're seeing here right now is Coach Bush challenging a call that was not made. And we've seen this happen a couple times tonight.
Both on the Muskrat side and the Viking side. The coach is just not satisfied with the call, but that happens in every game. And
yeah. It's something that's bound to happen at some point, and it's something that we can very easily get the point back with.
Serving at the back line is number 9, Ella Stevenson. Big attack by number 1, Jessica Miller, as it reflects off the block into Muskrat territory. The Vikings take a 14-11 lead.
Something that I think is so great about our team is that every point, no matter if it's ours or theirs, we manage to get so energetic and use that energy for momentum to get the next point back or just continue this momentum that we have going.
Big up by Ashley Roski in the back row. I think we've seen a lot of growth out of her, too, as a player. Her first year being on varsity and just really taking that opportunity and soaring with it and just making great coverage tonight.
Yes, she's definitely grown as a player and as a student, I've heard as well. So I think it's definitely been a great experience for her and a great thing that we've seen her grow as.
Ball is just a touch out off the hand of Riley Frantic. Coming in are both number 8, Mackenzie Fleming, and number 8, Maria Simpson. Great run down by Alyssa Morgan to make sure that ball is out and just get an eye on that ball and just be an all-around great player tonight.
Yeah, something that is very key about her eye is that she always knows if it's in or out because she's constantly moving to where the ball is or is going to be.
Nice hands by Ashley Roski. Set up to Alyssa Miller. Back row attack from the Muskrats.
Like we said earlier with Jolene being able to hit the ball, I think it definitely equals just as well with our front row and back row having good hands and being able to set the ball up if they can't necessarily pass it.
A little bit of a momentum stride for the Muskrats. Number 14 goes back to the line to serve, Rachel Davis. Viking point as the Muskrats have their hands over the net on that touch. Substitution on Marysville's side. Number 7, Lydia Gold, goes in for the play. The call is being challenged by the Muskrats.
Both captains going up to see what's going on here.
I think the coach is just saying that he didn't think the girls were over the net when the contact was made, and The up ref doesn't seem to agree with him, so I think the point is going to stay on the Viking side tonight.
I think that's something that's really good about the refs, is to be able to stand resilient when you're being challenged by many people at one time.
Big block on the Muskrat side. Jolene takes it over for an attack. Another back row attack. Recovered well by the Vikings. Ball is just out off of the hand of Natalie Husson. Little confusion on the Muskrat side for a libero switch. Number 7, their libero, went back for the serve. Big blacks at the net for a Viking point.
I think something that we can definitely say about both teams is that their ability to handle all of the nerves, because this is for the championship and they all must be feeling extremely nervous, and I think that they've handled those nerves very well in all 3 of these games so far.
Like you said, both teams, it's phenomenal how in the heat of the moment they can perform so well, and we have seen it on both teams, and we've seen all the hitters perform well, and the back row just really paying attention to where they're at on the court. It's a good overall performance.
Yes, definitely on both teams. I think, too, we've seen just the overall performance get better with each game.
Big blot up at the net for Natalie Husson, and then she tips it over for a Viking point. The Muskrat coach calls a timeout, and we'll be right back after this short message. We welcome you back to the Viking Gymnasium for another round of Viking volleyball. Back at the line to serve this game is number 5, Alyssa Miller.
I think we've seen a great performance from all of these girls tonight and just putting all of their hearts out on the line for this game.
That is shown in that hit right there. She really came out and decided she wanted that point.
Yeah, it's so great to see when these girls want something so bad and they just work till every last whistle is blown, until every last drop of sweat is on the floor.
Number 3, Bella Koala, comes in to serve, but the serve just flies shortly out. Coming in for the Muskrats is number 10, Dunsbury, and number 9 for the Viking side, Anna Oles. The serve is in and picked up by number 7, the libero. 4 contacts is called on the Muskrat.
A little bit of frustration on the Muskrat side. I can see where they're getting frustrated with how the game is going overall, but I think that they do have the ability to rally back. It's just the choice if they, really want it.
I think the frustration a little bit comes from the calling and what they think is right and what they think is wrong, and that's okay because the differences between up refs and the coach's point of view are a little different. So
yeah. And that's the reason we have these up refs and down refs, is because they have a bird's eye view of the court and they know what really happens.
Lift called on the Marysville Vikings on number 13, Jolene Gaffney, as she tried to keep the balls alive. Number 13 will go back to the line to serve, Emily Cochin. Great up by number 11, Alyssa Morgan, for a down ball by Lydia Gold. A free ball will be sent over. Just no communication from the Vikings on that point.
Something that's really great about Lydia is that she's willing to take all these big swings and just play smart overall.
I think you're right, and we're going to come back for more Viking action after this short break.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling? Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
Welcome back from the Viking Gymnasium for more live action between the Algonac Muskrats and the Marysville Vikings.
Both of these teams have played phenomenal tonight, and I think it's coming down to the wire, just point after point being played very, very well.
Close point there, but the point goes to the Muskrats. Number 13 served the ball for the Muskrats, Emily Cochin.
I think something that's really great about the atmosphere and everybody just getting so loud for these girls and for what they do.
Good attack by number 7, Lydia Gold, for a Viking point. Back row attack from number 7 on the Muskrat side. A little miscommunication from Jolene Gaffney and Jessica Miller for a Muskrat point.
Like we said earlier, it's going to happen at some point, and we've had a few miscommunications tonight.
We'll have a quick substitution. And number 15 will come in for the Muskrats, Sophia Dunaway. It's a new face we've seen on the court tonight.
Yeah, I think it's great that the Muskrats are bringing someone new into the game just to see what happens and how it mixes up the atmosphere and the team.
Number 1, Jessica Miller, will go back to the line to serve the ball.
You can see in the body language of every single one of these girls how bad they want this game and how bad they just want this win for their team and for their school.
Big block by the front row of the Vikings. Nice call by Alyssa Morgan to see that ball was out, and the Vikings deserve the point for that one. Quick timeout by the Vikings. We'll be back with more action right after this.
Hello, my name is Dr. John DeYoung, President of the American Veterinary Medical Association. You may think that the health and welfare of your pets is all the veterinarians do, but our job is so much more. We're involved at the intersection of human, animal, and environmental health, the concept known as One Health. Veterinarians keep your food supply safe, make sure that diseases are under control, and you can learn more about it at avma.org. We're all in this world together, animals and people alike, and we need to take care of one another.
Welcome back to the Marysville Gymnasium as we're in match 3 of the Division II Girls Volleyball District Finals. At the back line, serving for the Vikings, we have number 1, Jessica Miller. Having a little miscommunication on the court right now. Looks like our libero has a little bit of blood on her fingers, so they're going to get that wrapped up and get her right back into the game.
Love the hustle from these girls, and you can see how bad they just want to play and play volleyball.
Well, we can do a little overview right now over the past 2 games and see what we liked and what we've seen from these 2 teams. We've definitely from both teams, we've seen a lot of hard work and dedication. We've seen them put it all out on the line tonight so that for the seniors, this isn't their last game. And each team has played that really well, and I think that putting that all together and just wanting to win every single second of it, they're just having great camaraderie on the court, and the energy is fantastic.
Yes, I definitely agree. And like you said, we've seen especially our seniors come out and show that they want to continue, they want to push harder. And even on Algonac, some of these girls who are seniors, they've put it all on the line and they've just put their heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears into this whole season. And I think it's definitely come down to these 2 teams who are both great teams, and they have phenomenal players on both of them.
I think both of them have 6 seniors, so it's really a good thing to see them duel out and want to play for that final match.
Yes, I agree.
Free ball sent over by the Muskrats. Good Viking communication. Big block at the net for a Viking point.
Well, as the game is winding down, we're seeing just more scrappy plays and fighting for this each and every point.
Good serve by Jessica Miller, even under good pressure. Vikings are really controlling the court tonight. And a big kill for Riley Franczyk to finish up the final game.
Well, that was a great game on both sides, and they all played very well.
We'll be right back after this for a short medal presentation.
Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her walk miles a day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
After 3 sets, the Marysville Vikings came out victorious for the district win. Both teams played very good volleyball tonight, and the Vikings just pulled out that win, and we wish the best of luck to our Vikings on their regional route that they're going on.
Number 1, Jessica Miller. Number 2, Ashley Roski. Number 3, Megan Winston. Number 4, Riley Franczyk. Number 5, Alyssa Miller. Number 6, Grace Schweihopper. Number 7, Lydia Gold. Number 8, Mackenzie Fleming. Number 9, Anna Bold. Number 10, Kirsten Smith. Number 11, Alyssa Morgan. Number 12, Brett Rubel. Number 13, Jolene Gaffney. Number 14, Natalie Husson. Number 15, Laura Byrne.
And now for the Marysville Vikings, the district title trophy. Thank you for joining us here at Marysville High School tonight for the MHSAA Division II Girls Volleyball District Title. I'm Nicole Will, and joining me was
Grace Krasinski.
Have a good night.